Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here, and I'm just doing this video. Now, I'm just going to say this. So, I don't want this video to be like something that someone points out and says, well, you know, you're wrong for saying this is hysteria, blah, 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 all this stuff. So, basically, I know that there have been public gatherings where things had worse outcomes, but this is an example of what I call hysteria. So, if we read this article and say, at the end, oh well, you know, it was if this was justified at the end of the article, as I'm about to show you, then I wouldn't even be doing this video at all. But this is just the kind of reporting that I think is irresponsible in this crisis. So it's called "They Defied Health Rules for a Storybook San Francisco Wedding." San Francisco Chronicle. The virus didn't spare them. The doors were locked. Rows of pews were taped off. The guests were arriving, as instructed, from an underground parking garage through a back door that led to the church interior. Then a city official crashed the wedding, which took place in early July in SS Peter and Paul's Church, with its picturesque edifice overlooking Washington Square Park. The pastor did not seem surprised by the official's order to stop the proceedings, according to a city report, and the wedding party moved outdoors to a basketball court where the ceremony, minus the nearly 100 guests who had assembled, continued on Zoom. Oh, God. Okay, so the article goes to talk about people potentially exposed guests, flew hot spots, flew back to Nashville, blah, 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 blah. Biggest fears about large gatherings. Okay. For UC Berkeley infectious disease expert Jonathan Schwartzberg, hearing about the nuptials infuriated him. This is a perfect example of why public health officials have been trying to convince people of the problems with getting together in crowds. Okay. So, where do we? All right. Okay, so they keep going they talking about the wedding, right? All right. So they had warnings and all this stuff. I finally found this article. It took me a while to find a paywall version of this article. I first saw it on my phone like a couple weeks back. All right. So this is the ending of the article, which gets pretty ridiculous. Guests wore masks or were setting separately. Okay, whatever. No one could contact. Okay, whatever. No employees felt sick. Blah blah blah. Daily temperature checks. All right. More on that maybe in another video. All right. So we go on. They talk about blah 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 blah. So this is what I'm getting to. There's a lot of blab. The church. Yeah, they're not socially distancing. Blah blah blah. They had a wedding. Oh my God, God forbid. They should just wait until a vaccine. Blah blah blah. Right? Public health orders. I thought we're supposed to wait till the cases go down enough. All right. So this is where the payoff comes. This is what I'm talking about. The celebration concluded and guests returned home flying around the country. Within 5 days, many in the wedding party had begun showing symptoms and testing positive for the coronavirus, according to two guests who learned of the infections. Look at this. None of the known cases has led to hospitalizations. Then why do the fucking article? What's the point? What you have to do is talk about where people died from a wedding. Why the fuck? It's just a waste of space. This stupid article. It's like they get all fear mongering in the beginning. The virus didn't spare them. They got sick, and they make it seem like they're going to be hospitalized, and nobody was hospitalized. So basically, it's like they might have had a mild version of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was bad. Maybe but they say nobody was hospitalized. Nobody was hospitalized. Nobody was hospitalized. Let me repeat that. None of the known cases had led to hospitalization. Why do this article? This is the type of shit that feeds into the fucking denial. Because people will actually read the damn article and say, why do this article? It seems like there's an agenda. This is so stupid. So, it's ridiculous. I don't get it. You know, I get if this was like one of those cases where there's someone that died from the wedding, they do this heartbreaking story, right? But why do this story in the first place if, other than them shaming the people that went to this wedding, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is not going to help. This kind of stuff does not help. I'm not saying we have to be more fear mongering, but this is like the opposite of what you need to do. No, it did not spare them. They got sick. And did everybody get sick? Probably not. It says many. They don't. It's very vague too. Symptoms are testing positive. It's like none of the known cases. It's like, why the fuck do this stupid damn fucking shit? Oh my god. Oh, look at this. God was right there with her in the groom, whispering to them, "Press on, I've got this." This was the most beautiful wedding I've ever been to. Not because of the backdrop of where they got married, but because of the faith, love, patience, tears, and joy that were evident throughout. Oh my god. So I'm sorry. This is the kind of stuff we need to stop. We need to stop articles like this. If you're gonna talk about, I'm not saying they have to be fear mongering, but let's just talk about how stupid it is, how anticlimactic doing an article like this is. It just doesn't make sense to me why they would do it. Why this article would be done, because it's just like it doesn't pay off. It just doesn't. There's no payoff. It's like, oh, nobody ever went to the hospital. It's like if someone, maybe someone had the flu and went to a fucking wedding, or they got food poisoning. You know, I've heard of weddings that everybody got fucking, salmonella poisoning, or got, they all got the flu or some shit, or a few people got meningitis or something. It's just like do an article like this is just like, it's against, if you're trying to scare people not to, not to go to weddings or public gatherings, then having an article where you plainly say nobody got hospitalized is not going to do the trick. They're going to be like that, like, oh, they got a little sick. The right wing's going to say, oh, they got a little sick at a wedding. Why do it? This is just fear porn. So that's all I got to say.